Imagine this. A priest in a small North African town finishes a service. He blows out the candles in his church, not knowing that in his lifetime, the light of his faith across this entire land would be put out, not by accident, not by slow change, but by force. Sounds like the plot of a historical thriller, right? But this isn't fiction. This is the real story of how Christianity in Morocco didn't just fade away. It was taken apart, erased. And for the secret believers we talk about on this channel, this is the hard history that set the stage for their hidden lives. This isn't just a history lesson for us, it's our family story. By the end of this, you'll understand the shocking reason why Christianity crumbled, and the incredible, secret flame that refused to die, a flame that is now burning brighter than anyone on the outside realizes. So let's rewind. Way back, before the mosques, before the Arab conquests, we have to talk about the original people of this land, the Amazigh, the Berbers. This is our land and our story. And let's get one thing straight right now. The early Christians here weren't European missionaries. They were Amazigh. This was their faith, our ancestors' faith. Think about Saint Augustine, one of the most famous Christian theologians in all of history. He was an Amazigh man from North Africa. His mother, Saint Monica? Same. This is a fact that gets overlooked so often. We're taught that Christianity is a foreign faith, but its roots here are ancient and deep. From important cities like Volubilis right here in Morocco to Carthage in Tunisia, this was a heartland of the faith. They had their own bishops, they built beautiful churches, they had strong theological debates in their own languages. Christianity here was vibrant, it was local, and it was established. It was a major part of the cultural and spiritual landscape. So what could possibly break something so strong, so rooted? What force could possibly erase that? The answer came from the East in the 7th century, and it didn't come with an invitation. It came with an army. The Umayyad Caliphate, their expansion was a military conquest. Let's be honest about the history, because we owe it to the truth. The choice given to the Amazigh Christian kingdoms was a brutal one, straight from the playbook of empire. Convert to Islam, or pay a heavy, humiliating tax, the jizya, for the privilege of keeping your faith as a second-class citizen. Or face the sword. This is the hard reality of how the religious landscape was changed. It wasn't a peaceful dialogue, it was a conquest. Now, our ancestors, the Amazigh, didn't go down easy. They fought back, fiercely. I mean, legendary figures like the Berber queen, Dihya, she led a resistance that became the stuff of legends, a symbol of this land's fierce independence against any invading force. But one by one, the kingdoms fell. The great churches, they weren't just closed or left behind. They were often literally taken apart, their stones used to build the foundations of new mosques. It was a powerful, physical, and clear message. A new era has begun. The old one is gone. The public space for any other faith was systematically removed. But not entirely. This is where the story gets incredible, and where I feel a real connection to our past. Because faith, when pushed to the edge, doesn't always die. It goes underground. It becomes a secret. In the most remote, hard-to-reach valleys of the High Atlas and the Rif Mountains, tiny pockets of Amazigh Christians held on. For generations. We're talking about communities that became ghosts in their own land, living a double life for centuries. Imagine it. Practicing your faith in secret, in hidden caves, in the dead of night, passing down stories of Jesus from parent to child in whispers, long after the world outside had forgotten the cross. They are the living, breathing proof that the first conversion of Morocco was never complete. They are a remnant, a flicker of light that refused to be snuffed out. And honestly, knowing this history of survival makes the modern story so much more powerful. For the next 1,000 years, the official story was set in stone. Morocco was a Muslim land. The cross had vanished. But then, something unbelievable started to happen. In our lifetime, the cross began to reappear. And this is the part that I and many of you are living through. This is where the history meets our present reality.
Now, if you ask the Moroccan government, they'll tell you the Christians in the country are almost all sub-Saharan African migrants. And yes, they are a visible and welcome part of our community. But that's a convenient half-truth that hides a much bigger story. The real, untold story is the one we are living and sharing on this channel. It's happening among ethnic Moroccans, among our own people. We're talking about your everyday people. Students in Casablanca, shopkeepers in Tangier, farmers in the Souss Valley. They are converting in their tens of thousands. And I am not just quoting a report. I am telling you what I see and what I hear from our community every single day. Now, let's be crystal clear about the reality we face. In Morocco, it is illegal for a Muslim to leave Islam. The social and legal risks are huge. You can lose your family, your job, your freedom, your safety. So there are no official numbers. There is no census. This is a silent, underground movement. But the evidence is everywhere if you know where to look. The most conservative estimates, the absolute minimum, point to tens of thousands of Moroccan-born Christians. And from what we witness, many people who study this believe the real number is far, far higher. This isn't being driven by foreign missionaries, who are often kicked out. This is a grassroots, homegrown spiritual awakening. It's Moroccans converting Moroccans, in living rooms and hidden spaces, sharing their faith at great personal risk. Just like their ancestors did in the mountains centuries ago. The pattern is repeating itself, but now on a massive scale. And there is one thread, one common story that I have heard from so many of my Moroccan brothers and sisters that it cannot be ignored. So many of them, and I mean a vast number, point to one specific experience that started their journey. A dream. A powerful, vivid, and life-changing dream of Jesus. It's amazing how often this comes up. They weren't reading a pamphlet or watching a foreign preacher on TV. They were asleep in their beds, in their homes in Fez or Marrakesh, and they had an encounter in a dream that changed everything. It's a deeply personal, spiritual thing that is fueling this modern movement in a way that no outside force ever could. So yes, Christianity might have crumbled all those centuries ago under the sword and pressure. But I am here to tell you that it is making a comeback in this land. And this return isn't because of any human plan or mission. It is happening by the help of God. It is a move of the Holy Spirit that is too powerful to stop. The story of Christianity here is not one of an ending. It's a story of a river that was forced underground for 1,000 years, only to resurface with unexpected force in a completely different landscape. It's a story of resilience, of identity, and of God's faithfulness. This work, sharing these stories and this history, is our mission. If this message has spoken to you, if you feel called to support this truth-telling, you can directly help us. We have a Buy Me a Coffee page, which is linked in the description below. Every single contribution helps us create more content and continue this important work. It allows us to keep sharing the truth. And if you can't support financially, please support us with your subscription. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. Your engagement is what allows this channel to grow and this message to reach more people.
Thank you for listening, for caring, and for being part of this journey with us.